Sony's position on the Microsoft Activision deal for Xbox was just fully exposed. Well, you must have picked this one. What can you tell me about it?
Oh, was this my story?
I'm just kidding.
Hey, don't do that. Hey. You want the show to die?
Heart rate
Just have me speaking.
Heart rate starts going up. Yeah. No, because this is complicated, man. And I was like, all right, listen, I really want to know what the hell's going on, because this beef is taking place in the UK. And obviously there's been resistance to this acquisition, $69 billion acquisition of Activision from Microsoft, right? Now, one of the big resistors would obviously be Sony. Why? How could this be good for Sony, the shareholders, selling consoles and everything else? And so the question then became, like, as they're going through these proceedings, trying to decide if it should be allowed or not that this acquisition takes place. It's like, well, what efforts have been made to negotiate with Sony directly in order to come to an agreement that we as a court could see that would showcase that this is actually going to be a good thing for competition and not a bad thing. So apparently there's a difference going on between what's being said publicly and what's happening behind closed doors. And so the quote here of the SIE CEO of Sony, Jim Ryan, is that he says, we're just trying, again, this is behind closed doors. I don't know, off the record, whatever. We don't care about a deal. We're going to do everything in our power to block this acquisition or this merger or whatever you want to call it. And then apparently on Microsoft's side, they say, oh, we're trying our best. We sent a possible 10-year agreement to Sony saying, you're going to have Call of Duty over there. You can put it on PlayStation Plus or whatever, to then show the courts, here's why you should let this acquisition take place, because actually it's going to be good for competition, and the title will still be on PlayStation. We'll put it in writing. But that's not enough. And Sony's sitting there saying, well, if we can make a case that this whole deal should be blocked, then why should we put up with any type of temporary agreement, 10 years or otherwise? If we feel confident that we can get this thing blocked in the first place, you can understand why that incentive might be even bigger for Sony. Yesterday, UK regulator, the CMA, published claims from both Sony and Microsoft with regards to the Activision deal. Microsoft trying to purchase Call of Duty maker Activision for $69 billion. Sony says it's nervous about preserving the status quo, thinking that Call of Duty in Xbox Game Pass could harm its business, even if it benefits consumers at large. Sony also claimed that Microsoft hadn't attempted to reach out to them to negotiate. So that's the key. They say they didn't reach to us to negotiate. And they say, yeah. And then people on the other side say, yeah, we did. We proposed a 10-year deal. What are you talking about? Creating all types of chaos in this UK courtroom with the regulatory body looking to either approve or deny this particular acquisition. Activision's EVP for Corporate Affairs and CCO, Lulu Chang, recently took to Twitter to contradict Sony's claims, namely that Microsoft hasn't offered PlayStation favorable terms. So this actually was all happening on Twitter, a la Elon Musk. Like, let's beef on Twitter. Let's put it all out there. Shout out someone somewhere. So here we go. Lulu Chang. Microsoft offered Sony, the dominant console leader for well over a decade, put that piece in there saying, oh, we're the anti-competitive ones. Look at these guys dominating. With 80% market share, we offered them a 10-year agreement on far better terms than Sony would ever get from us. We've also offered Sony guaranteed long-term access to Call of Duty, but they keep refusing. Why? And then that's where the quote comes in. Sony suggests to CMA that Microsoft could release a buggy version of Call of Duty on PlayStation that could make gamers lose confidence in PlayStation as a go-to venue. They could have some sort of premium features that were Xbox only, or they could have it be partially busted on PlayStation and have it as a low priority. That's the argument.
Yeah. And like with these games that are just ongoing, there's going to be developers that just keep on developing and grow the game. So yeah, this kind of sucks.
Developers be developing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like a game that's like finished and then it just ships and then you can forget about it. Like there's always going to be updates and there's always going to be bugs.
Yeah.
And Sony could get a crappier version, or like more teams, like they find like a significant bug and then they put all their resources on Xbox.
Of course, but then that's where this idea of putting it in writing comes into play. They're saying, well, if we have a 10-year deal saying that you're going to get the exact same treatment as our native game in terms of upkeep and features and skins and whatever else, then they could hold them accountable to that particular contract. That's the idea of it. Anyway, Lulu Chang follows it up by saying, in the words of the CEO of SIE, Sony Entertainment, in his words, I don't want a new Call of Duty deal. I just want to block your merger. And apparently this was said behind the scenes.
Nip it in the bud.
So basically what we have here is a good old-fashioned brouhaha.
Is it now? What is that?
It's a versus, man. The Sony versus PlayStation thing now is about to go. It's about to be real. Like, people used to make this argument in the past, Sony versus PlayStation, but they weren't really at each other's throats. They were kind of coexisting.
Yeah, games are good.
And they would have their exclusives here and there, and people would have their arguments online and social media and so forth, but it's getting really real now. If this game stuff goes down with these developers, this could hit a new pitch, hit a new temperature that we haven't seen before. Console wars on another level.
Giga Chad fanboys.
You said it.
Yeah.
PlayStation owners can grab 3 new free games right now. How about that? There you go. Some bonus for you. Don't worry about that Activision stuff.
This is not really the link that I was going for.
Oh, it isn't?
Hold on.
You knew right away.
Yeah.
What's going on with you today, Will?
I clicked the wrong link.
I mean, free games is good, but
it's a deal link. Hold on.
A deal, so not free, just a discount?
Okay, maybe I can't find it anymore.
Did they discount Horizon Forbidden West, one of your favorites? Looks like it. But this looks like it's from 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it came with the console, but you have to buy a TV from Sony.
From Sony directly, from their website, or from Best Buy or something?
So. It was a deal. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna look for it, but let's just move on.
So there's a deal somewhere on the internet where you can get a TV, Horizon Zero Dawn,
and a PS5.
And a PS5 for $50. Will said it. He just got to find it.
I didn't say that.
He's just got to find it.
You got to buy the TV, and then you get the free PS5 and Horizon Zero Dawn.
He's going to find it. All you have to do is tune in tomorrow for this $5 deal.
The deal guy?